success and for your own lives, for your own families. And you know, I just want you to know, Brittany and I want you to know, and all the other leaders want you to know that, you know, we all started in that same place. You know, we all started with a hope and a vision and a desire for having something more in our lives. And you know, an investment now, an hour invested now, will buy you back a month in the future. Is that worth it? Right?
Yes.
And so that time, the finances that you have put out there to be at this event, the sacrifices away from people that you love, or maybe now you're with more people, meeting new people that you love or you want to love. Right? But we understand that, you know. Brittany and I, you know, when she got started in the company, she was 23. When I got started, I was 29. And you know, we sat, you know, just watching this information and just, you know, going, can this really be us? You know, can we really, you know, make a six-figure income? Can we really, you know, get that Lexus? And you know, our background, you know, we were living off of $2,000 to $3,000 a month. We were driving a car with 150,000 miles on it and living in a 600 square foot apartment when we got started in this business. But you know what? We had our backs up against the wall. And here's the thing. And you guys want me to tell you what you need to hear or what you want to hear? So here's what I want you to understand is sometimes because we are in such a rich space and this company attracts such high-end people, a lot of us are too comfortable. What I mean by that is maybe we have the finances or we have a comfortable lifestyle. And what you have to do is you have to get yourself uncomfortable. And you have to force yourself to be uncomfortable. And it might sound strange, but that's the only way you grow, right? They say that most of your growth happens when you're working out in the last 2 reps. And most of the time you couldn't do those last 2 reps unless you had a workout partner. I remember when Brittany first got started and we were at our first event and the president, Dennis Windsor, called on her to do a testimonial in the middle of the meeting. And she turned beet red and she was like, and it was like that frozen moment. But she made a decision in that moment to do what she wouldn't have done had she just not faced it and just done it, right? And so are we all committed to getting uncomfortable for the next 90 or so days?
Yes.
And so what that starts with is that worksheet, the Run into St. Louis worksheet, and actually doing it, and maybe finding a workout partner. What it also starts with is meeting people and shaking people's hands from this group or over there that you haven't met yet, and sharing your story and your dreams and your hopes, and hearing their story and their dreams and their hopes. You know, the thing that kept Brittany and I moving in this business was hearing other people's stories, hearing about someone else's struggle and someone else's, you know, belief that they could do this, and just inoculating ourselves and realizing that, hey, this can happen for us. It's not an overnight success, but are we willing to pay the price? And so I ask you, are you willing to pay the price?
Yes.
And if you're willing to pay that price, the promise is clear that you, each and every one of you guys, can absolutely have the life of your dreams. I mean, it's a dream come true for us to be able to receive that $100,000 bonus on all of your guys' behalf, you know, and we're just so grateful to all of you, and we're so thankful to represent you guys as a team and to, you know, just be able to be called leaders in this business. And the only reason I believe we're called that is because we were willing to face our fears, we were willing to raise our hand and say, why not us, to show up to these events, put ourselves in that conscious environment of success on a daily basis, whether that's around a mastermind group, whether that's around an environment like this, at an event, on a call, whatever it might be for you. And so if you're ready to go to the next level, there's one thing that you can do that will absolutely take you to that next level. You know, 90 days of pain for a lifetime of gain. Is that worth it? Absolutely. So, you guys have all seen this, right? The registration form. Some of you guys are already registered. Some of you guys don't have the money to get registered, and you don't know how you're going to do it. But now, in this moment, like Jeff said, is when you make your decision. If you don't have the money, what I suggest is you fill it out, you put your card information on the top, you put the date that you think you'll have the money, and you give it to your leader, okay? This is what separates the leaders from the people who are not going to be in the business 100 days from now. My mentor told me that, But here's the interesting part. You guys are all standing here, and I could fold this in half, and I could say about 50% of you guys will be at this event, right? There's an old saying, stick and stay, you get your pay. The people from that St. Louis event, about 50% of those people will be there, right? And some people will come back a year later, and they'll see the people that continue to show up, that continue to do the activity, are now moving up in ranks. And they say there's no secret in this business. The reality is there's no secret. You just have to show up consistently and do the activities. The thing is putting yourself in that mindset that you're gonna show up and you're gonna do it consistently, and what happens is it starts to compound on itself. You cannot see the roots when you plant a seed, can you?
No.
And so you just have to have the faith, though, that if you plant that seed and that you water, that eventually a flower will bloom, right? And it's a law of nature, isn't it? And so this business is very much surrounded by the laws of nature. And that's what I love about this thing, is because it's inevitable that promise is clear. And if you're willing to show up and you're willing to pay the price. And so, how many people you guys are already registered for this event? Awesome. How many people are gonna get registered for this event? Okay, awesome. Here's what I want you to do is, I think they have some at the back counter. Make sure you're registered for this event. I promise you, and I do this all the time at every single event, and I've never had one person come back to me. Brittany and I will put that $100,000 bonus on the line, put our own money on the line, that if you go to this event, you're not 100% satisfied, when you come out, we will refund your ticket. I mean, that's how much we believe in this. And since the beginning of Nerium, 28 months ago, we've never had one person come back and say, this wasn't worth our time. Does anybody think that this wasn't worth their time today? Okay. Hey, jump him. He just raised his hand. No, I'm just playing. So I know Brittany wanted to say something, so I'll kind of pass it to her, guys.
I just wanted to share some just personal, I guess, statistics and information with you to show you kind of where we started in the business, and the results that you're seeing and what you can expect to see as you're building this business, and why Mark talked about how essential recruiting is and why we're doing the 2 exposures a day. Silver and I, when we got started in Nerium, in our first few months, sponsored probably 10 people into the business as brand partners. To this day, only 1 of the 10 people is still in this business, and that one person is a 1-star national marketing director making over $15,000 a month in this company. His name is Tony Zazula. And he was one of my co-workers, had been friends for years, and just kept that relationship. Went back to him, hadn't talked to him for a long time, and he's the one that's stuck in the business, and he's the one today that's making the income.
Let me add on to that really quick. And then we recruited another 10, and then there was one more person who's stuck, and her name's Deborah Lindy, another national marketing. You see, there's a running theme there, right?
And then there's another story. One of the first people that we approached in the beginning of the business didn't get started, told us no, I'm not interested for a whole year. But we stayed friends, kept the relationship with him. A year later, he decided to get started in the business, and a year after that, just this last month, he hit National Marketing Director. So
Danny Jones.
Danny Jones in Arizona. Our beloved Danny Jones. Everybody loves him too. So these are just some examples of the people that have stayed with it and seen the results happen. They stuck with it. We've gotten the calls when they were, uncertain, when this was happening, when that was happening. But, that's what we're here for. That's what your leaders are here for. So my biggest bit of advice, on this run is pair up with your leaders, your Lexus earners, your executive directors, your regional marketing directors, your national marketing directors. You have incredible leaders in this business right here for you today. Call them, use them, blow up their phone, like Silver has done with many of the national marketing directors on our team today. Don Wilkinson being one example, Deborah Lindy being another example. 2 people that he probably bugged like crazy after they got started in this business until they turned around and started bugging him like crazy and saying, okay, we're ready to do this and run with this business. So we're here for you, and your leaders are here for you. And we're gonna do this together, you guys. This is the run of a lifetime.
So what we want to do really quickly is just we want to invite up any other national marketing directors that if they want to share something or share their stories. You know, here's the cool part. Let me give you guys some statistics on top of that really quick while any of the nationals make their way up if they want to share anything. But you know, I remember the first big event, the first bash that was in Southern California. Was anybody at that one? A couple people, right? Woo! And that was, we had 50 people on our team at that event. And 90 days later, we hit National Marketing Director. By the end of that year, we had over 10,000 people on our team. Guys. Now there's 33 National Marketing Directors on the team as a result of that. So that's why we say these events are so important. There's no way that we could have transferred this type of message to someone in their living room, right? You're getting a different type of information that raises your belief level. 90% of this business is about your belief, and only 10% is about your knowledge and applying that knowledge. Because when you hand that bottle to someone, if I said, here's some Nerium, I think it might work for you, right? Do you think that they're gonna buy into that belief? No. But with that absolute certainty and that absolute knowingness and handing that bottle, knowing that it can change someone's life, when that happens, you have a 23-year-old and a 29-year-old or any walk of life that can come in and that can achieve their wildest dreams. And so with that, I know Deborah wanted to say something, so I'll pass it to her.
Thank you.
Perfect segue. Can you guys hear me? Yeah. I was in the business about 3 weeks. He was calling me all the time saying, are you going to do this? Are you going to do this? I had sponsored one person and one customer. And the first ever bash for Nerium, because it was only 3.5 months old at the time, was that January, that first weekend of January, just like this one. And it was my granddaughter's first birthday. My granddaughter's first birthday. So I wasn't going to miss it, but I did what he told me to do, which was rally everybody that I knew to get to that event. And I got 5 or 6 people to that event. And 14 days later, I got the iPad, and on the 31st of that month, so 20 days later, I got the Lexus. Ooh. And it was because I sent people to that event, and they were able to learn and grasp what this company's about through an event that I couldn't possibly tell them. And the next thing I wanted to share with you guys was, and then it exploded after that. 9 months later, I was a national marketing director. But that didn't come without lessons, and that didn't come without discouragement, and that didn't come without me having to go through a lot of personal growth. So what I did in order to get myself through that was 2 things. 1, plugging into the system and my leaders. And 2, I wrote down my why, and I created a dream board. I encourage you guys, as soon as you get home, go and make the biggest dream board that you can. It is hanging above my mirror in my bathroom, so I see it every morning, every time I brush my teeth, every time I go to the bathroom. That dream board is staring me in the face, and there are days when I look at that and I literally start to sob because I remember again why I'm doing this. And that is what has got me through that. Write down your why, leave it all over your house. I'm not kidding, it's what gets you through, and it will pay off. You will get what you want with that. And then there was one more thing, but I can't remember what it was.
Then we got John Harris, another national marketing director, just kicking butt. This is the bike guy that you might know. Started out this business riding a bike, and showed up 6 months later as a national marketing director. Not a bad story, right? So,
what I want to give you, here's a quick story. I don't want to, but onto the bike. I worked the business for 2 months on the bicycle. Got fast start qualified my first month. But Don Wilkinson, are you here?
Yes.
I'm going to tell the little story really quick. Is that okay? The first month, that's about us. The first month I got fast start qualified. I went to every event, got plugged in. Every time they spoke, I was there. Brittany, Silver. 4th weekend, Pierpont and Ventura, Jeff Olson came to speak with Renee Olson. Oh my God, I was so high, if you would. I left that meeting, went around, unlocked my bike because no one knew it but Don and a couple people, I took off. I almost hit Jeff Olson's car. No, he's looking at me. I'm looking at him. I was devastated. I went home crying. It was awful. I did not go to the next meeting that it was Brittany and Silver at the Pier Pond Inn the next week because I didn't want anybody to catch me on my bicycle. It's okay. I stayed home and I did my own thing on the back end of the website, shot out videos on Nerium. I got a call from Don Wilkinson that night about 10:30. Where were you? I'm like, well, I didn't want to get caught on my bicycle. I'm doing Nerium. I'm doing my stuff. I'm doing my thing. I'm shooting out videos. You're doing your thing, and Jeff Olson's system works. You just lost your Lexus. And I'm like, it's tough love. I get it. It's tough love, man. And I cried. I was looking at my borrowed bicycle. I cried. I'm like, I went through a meltdown. I don't want, what am I tempting fate for? I could go back to the bicycle. I never missed another meeting. But imagine, you guys, if Dawn never called me that night, I would have probably missed another meeting, and I probably could have wouldn't have been an NMD in 6 months. I would not have got what I got now if I didn't follow these guys' lead. So you guys, don't do it your way. Their way works.
Another amazing one-star national marketing director, Carol Klein.
Girl power! I just want to say the one thing that I kept wanting everybody in my team to come to hear Jeff, because a week after I started doing Nerium, I went to hear Jeff Olson. I just came out of there jacked out of my mind. It was such an opportunity. I went home to my hometown of Ojai, and I talked to my friends, and I sat down, I walked into someone's house, I said, how long have you known me? They said, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, since I just moved to the town. I said, well, do you think I'm a smart person? And he went, yeah. And I said, well, then sit down and listen to me. And I didn't know anything at that time. I just told him, at the end of that conversation, he said, you are so naive. You're standing right here. He said, nobody makes money in that business. And I said, fine, just try the product. I got that from every one of my friends who are now here in this crowd. Don't let them bring you down. Let your enthusiasm, your conviction, your posture bring them up. Oh, that's good. Don't buy into anything less than what you know. I didn't know anything about this business, and also don't worry, my star came from someone 7 levels or 8 levels down I've never met. Somewhere you never know who's going to lead you to your star, to your NMD. So just go out there with the gift that you have. You can give them a suitcase full of money or a beautiful face. That's what you have to offer. Do it your best. Don't be weird. I love today's training, but just know that you have something you're offering and you don't know who it's for. Get people in front of the information. Leave off the agenda that you want them to start. Nobody wants to be sold. Everyone wants to buy, but they don't want to be sold. So just get, by hook or by crook, get them to look at your tool. And then after that, it's in the hands of the gods. Amen.
Silver.
Thank you.
Silver, how you doing? I want everybody to cheer. I want to get a really good shot. Squeeze together. Okay, everybody, thank you.
Hey guys, I'm going to close out with this. I'll ask you one question, okay? Are you going to be in St. Louis? Yeah! Are you going to run into St. Louis? Yeah! Are you going to reach your goals by St. Louis? Yeah! Are we going to be NMD? Yeah! Are we going to help other people get to NMD? Yeah! Are we going to help other people? Yes! Awesome, guys. I love you. We'll see you at the event.